Hey you guys, welcome back to What's Happening. So, Kimmi and Maurice Scott sat down and spoke with Jackson Parente. If you're not familiar with Jackson, he does a weekly podcast where he talks to some of the reality TV stars and tries to spill the tea and get some dirt on some of the other cast members. So he sat down with Kimmi and Maurice, and so take a listen to what they had to say. I thought it was very interesting. And when you get done, comment below and let me know your thoughts.
Nice to meet you guys. Oh my gosh, you both look great.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nice to meet you as well.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of both you guys. So this is so surreal and such an honor.
Thanks.
Thank you. And thanks for watching.
Oh, yes. I'm a huge fan.
If you had to pick between me and Kimmi, who would you pick?
I love you both. No.
You absolutely can.
No, I love you both for different reasons.
Excellent answer.
Yes.
That's media training right there.
Yes. Well, okay, so I won't take up too much of your time because I know you're both very busy. But so I'm very curious. So I kind of want to start at the very beginning of things with your reality TV journey over the past few years. So how did you both end up doing this very successful show now?
We literally were in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. We're friends with the Holts, and we hung out heavy when we first met them. We did multiple things. We took vacations together. We went to concerts and everything together, hung out, barbecues. Good morning. How you doing? Have a great week. And one day Melody said she wanted to do a reality TV show. And most of us were against it because we didn't think we were that entertaining. But she was extremely persistent in wanting us to at least try. So she did the legwork and put out feelers in Atlanta and all these different places. Eventually, she ended up with Carlos King. And they talked about a couple different scenarios. And between the two of them, they put the collective together. And here you go.
Yes. Okay. So Maurice, I'm curious, did you ever think you would be doing reality TV? Were you ever like, what did you think of the idea?
I was one of the original naysayers. I was a cynic. I really didn't think that we had that much to offer. You know, I knew that we were fun and funny, but I didn't think that we had enough going on to where people would want to watch us consistently.
Right.
I thought they'd much rather hang out with us than watch us.
Yeah.
You know, so no, I never saw this.
Yes. And it's so, you guys are on your 4th season now. It's crazy.
Yeah. Just like that.
Yes. But no, I think that's what makes it so good is because people do want to hang out with you guys and you're all very relatable. So that's nice to see. Okay. So Maurice, so you are on a reality show with your brother. So how is that? And does it make things difficult between you guys or has it brought you guys closer?
I think that we're just busy being ourselves on reality. I think that it's interesting to see your brother on television. And I'm the older brother. Most people find that, striking. But it's different. I always knew Marcel had a big personality. He's hilarious. And he always has something up his sleeve. And he has a lot of Marcelisms too. He speaks like a Old Testament prophet.
Yes. Okay. And then Kimmi, what about you? So obviously, what is it like kind of showing your relationship with your sister-in-law on the show and kind of going through those ups and downs in front of the world?
I think any part of a relationship, whether it's, Letitia and I, or my husband and I, my kids and I, you wish you could only show the good parts, and maybe keep all the bumps in the house, but signed up for. And hopefully we work through them to a point to where people can glean some little nuggets to help them get through some maybe of their hurdles as well.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you both have known, obviously, Melody and Martell for a while before the show, and then you started the show with them. So what was it like, seeing them go through a divorce that was obviously very public and on the show and things like that? So, how was it for the both of you kind of seeing that play out?
It's tough. I mean, even without a camera, you don't want to see your friends go through divorce. It's hard to watch, especially, well, for me, I met them both at the same time, equally. So I didn't know one person better than the other and all of that. So it was hurtful. I mean, I don't want to see any of my friends go through divorce. And to be on television, just in my opinion, compounded some of the problems that they might have been having. If you ask them, I think to some degree, they feel like it didn't play a big role, but it's hard to imagine that it didn't play a role at all in some of the, demise of their relationship.
Right. Yeah, with social media and all of that. Yeah, that's a lot. So, okay, Kimmi, you and Destiny, actually, which is funny watching it back, you guys didn't get off to the best start when she first came around the group. So now you guys have obviously, your relationship with Destiny has grown since she first came along. What are some things that you really like about Destiny and having her around everyone?
Destiny's fun. She's a lot of laughs. She's kind of lighthearted in most areas. And, the reason we didn't get off to the best was we were kind of abrasive in our hellos.
Yes.
And to be fair, she still got some abrasion there. And like my personality, I just didn't really like the tone that she came into the picture. And so we didn't get off to the right foot. I didn't like the tone. So I felt like I met tone with tone and, it kind of goes back and forth. Knowing her more on a friend level at this point, when I feel like I see that tone, I don't just immediately meet her with the same tone anymore because I see more of it being part of her personality as opposed to a natural, bad feeling or negative feeling. So that was just something we had to learn about each other as we grew into a friendship.
Yeah, no, of course. Okay, so both of you guys actually didn't get off to the best start with the Whitlows who came on last season. You guys had a rough start, especially with Tiffany. How do you guys both think that Tiffany and Lewis fit into the group?
Tiffany was a person that I had met, high and by. We had, brief conversations prior to being on the show. And her introduction on the show was, difficult, I'd say that. For me as a parent, because you're introducing my son to, and his private life to, national television. One of the number one challenges for me in that situation was children are off limits because they're entitled to make mistakes as minors, right? Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why, minors' records are sealed. There's a reason why, they go to school. They're forced, because they're really in training right now in that portion of their life. So because they're fragile, you want to protect them as a parent as much as possible. Expose them to, different things. Like my son doesn't even watch the show. Like that's not one of the things in our household,
Right.
So with that being said, Tiffany and her conversation about my son's mistakes, is a problem. And then I think for the introduction with Tiffany and Lewis, it was not a clear delineation between the wrong and the apology. It was kind of murky. Yeah, but, and at the end of the day, when we're talking about children, it's not really a yeah, but.
So for me, that And I guess in addition to that, for me, I just felt like they came on the scene pretty judgmental. I just thought they were just extremely judgmental of a group of people they didn't know very well. However, when the tables were turned in regards to judgment, they didn't really like it. It was like we couldn't have an opinion of them. We were completely wrong, but we had to be receptive of their opinions of us because they were completely right. And so that was just a hard pill for me to swallow. Part of their, I don't want to call it storyline, but part of their thing was that they were transparent. And I just didn't feel like they were as transparent as the storyline would maybe depict.
I get that. Now I know Tiffany, obviously, you guys talked about it on the show. Did you guys ever talk to them later? Did they ever understand maybe where you guys were coming from? And did she explain more as to why she did what she did and that kind of thing?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I think that we wouldn't have been able to move forward if we didn't have more conversation in the 5 minutes or so that we had on television. Because it's a real deep issue. It's a big issue. And it's the type of thing where you have to have a clear understanding as parents how we're going to deal with this. And then overall, I think that we also had to learn who they are. Sometimes in conversation, people may have different viewpoints or opinions that they freely share amongst their friends. But if you're coming into then you have to learn the dynamics of that new friend group as well. So I think that that's also a challenge that we had to overcome. And, conversation and communication helps you do that. And one of the most important things is that we found them not to be totally unreasonable people. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people come in, they say something, and then they're unwilling to see, the wrong that they may have played in the situation. If you can't see any wrong in it, then we don't have a lot of conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, of course.
I think in some of our conversation, she said to me that she had said it in a small group, and I'm friends with Destiny and I'm friends with Mel. However, they didn't know that information because I didn't know what to share. Right. They didn't know. So how I'm saying you can't determine who knows our information. So even in a small group of people, TV magnified the problem. Yes. If no TV was there, I'd have personally still had a problem because of the fact that you don't know who knows our business to render it. Now, if you wanted to say it to me privately, you saw me on the street and you pulled me to the side and we kind of had a little sidebar, I'd have had zero problem. But TV magnified a problem that for me would have been a problem regardless of TV or no TV.
Yeah, no, I completely get that. Now, okay, so Kimmi, on the first episode of this new season, we see that you got a new puppy.
I did.
Oh my gosh. So how has that been? And on the show, you even mentioned that it's like therapy for you to have a new puppy. And so what did you mean by that?
Therapy? I think well, it's not even I think. Statistically, it's been proven pets are just calming. People take pets to cancer patients. People take pets to elderly patients. People take pets to children's hospitals because they have a calming effect. You can actually mistreat your pet and they'll still love you. Like it's just an air of unconditional love that when you walk in the door, they're like excited to see you. And so a lot of things since we've been on the show can be overwhelming. It's new. It's new for me. So maybe I don't handle everything the best way I know how. And a lot of that is when I talk before, or if I say things when I'm angry.
Or beat your spouse.
Or if I say things when I'm angry. And he really helps to keep me happy. Like he makes me happy. So it keeps me in a better disposition. So I respond better to things. Like if you're having a bad day at work, you come home, you're snappy. You know what I mean? And so for me, it kind of helps minimize some unnecessary snapbacks.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And it was so nice seeing you. And I hope we get to see more of your puppy during the season and all the fun you get to have. Maurice, what have you thought about the new addition to your family?
I think that with every new addition comes new responsibilities.
Uh-huh.
And it's been a little transition for me because early on, Zeus slept in our room, and anytime that you stir a little bit, Zeus is up to play, and it could be 2:00 in the morning, 4:00 in the morning, doesn't matter. Sometimes you're creeping off to the bathroom and you find out someone or some puppy has already went to the bathroom, and you find out the cold way. So that's another experience. Yeah, it's
he learned quick. He's quick.
That's what that is, forgiveness from a loving parent is what that is.
Yes. He's good.
He's good now, and he's in obedience school, so that's a good thing too. But Zeus is a welcome sweet partner, here to the family.
Yes. Animals are so awesome. And I got a puppy. He'll be 2 in August. So I get what you're going through. Yes. Okay. So kind of getting to this season real quick. So the biggest thing right now is the hottest topic, I should say, is the picture that got released from Marceau on social media about your Atlanta trip a few years back. So, okay, is there anything, without giving anything away, because I know it'll be talked about in upcoming episodes, what can you say about your side with that whole situation and what happened at the reunion?
I think with the situation at the reunion, I think that just in general, I answer questions according to everything that's asked. So I think that I think that the way that it played on television was different than if you segment the question and answer, right? And I think that also gave rise to Marceau being the deviant that he is, dropping a photo that, sparked the internet, and the internet took it, ran with it. And, all of the comments and the bloggers and everybody, it's almost like the right thing happened at the right time, and it just, went viral. So now we're dealing with all the fallout. Initially, I knew exactly what he was doing because Marceau, he has a dark sense of humor. Sometimes what he's funny isn't all that funny. And he doesn't think all the way through it as well, because there's a lot of collateral damage with that. Fire was literally about to die. And then one little match just lit it right back up. And here we are dealing with the fallout again.
Yes. Now that kind of plays into my curiosity about, obviously social media is now a huge part of, especially your guys' life, specifically with the show. How has social media kind of affected your lives in general from, obviously before the show, you could probably be on social media and it wouldn't be a big deal. But now social media, every little thing you post kind of gets dissected in a way. So how has that been over the past few years since you've been on the show?
I guess for me, I'm kind of a private person, and I didn't realize how private I was until I got on, television. Then I realized, wait a second. And I think this is also part of my apprehension early on, because you don't have control of your media once it's, on television. There's so much that gets left on the cutting room floor when it comes to the television show. But on social media, because you have a television show, then they dissect your social media because of the television show. So I think that right there, even if you're responding to something that may have played on television or something new, then it always is being filtered through the lens of the television show.
And Kimmi, is it similar for you?
Yeah, for the most part. I guess for me, the social media aspect is just how opinionated people are in regards to a 42-minute show that they watched. It always tickles me how they can know more about me than I know about me.
Right.
So that's for me, that's the social media part, is just, it tickles me.
Yeah. No, yeah, of course. A lot of opinionated people out there. Okay, so what are each of your favorite things about being on the show, and is there anything that you don't like about being on the show besides the social media aspect?
Well, that's easy. For me, I like the fact that it expands our platform. We like to be involved in the community service and those kind of things. And so some of the things that we wanted to do have to be small when it's just the two of us. Even when it was the six of us, the comeback group that started, it still was on a smaller level. But now with this platform, you get people who want to help, you get people who want to donate, you get people who want to sponsor, and it just helps you kind of meet some of the goals that you had in mind a little more quickly. And that to me is the biggest part, is the platform. And quite honestly, that particular pro outweighs the cons for me. And the only con that I have really is just people's opinion of your life. And they just don't know you. And sometimes even the stuff they actually see on TV, I look at it and I go, how did you get that from that? Like, how is that your scenario? And we watch the same show. So the social media part probably would be the biggest drawback for me personally.
For me, I think what I like the best about being on television is, directly connected to what Kimmi just said, is about the platform. But it's I believe that I'm a problem solver by nature, and there's a lot of solutions. There's a lot of conversation that we can have with individuals. Like some people, they may reach out about law school or something, about going back to law school or starting a business, or their credit, or consumer law issues, right? These are problems that we're able to solve with people that I've never may have touched, and that's all comes from the show. The major drawback to me from the show is it's because I really don't care what people think so much. It's more about those that are connected to me somehow. So, for example, like my mom's not really on the television show, but my mom's life is now exposed because of the television show. When Kimmi's sensitive about an issue or whatever and how it affects her, those are things to me that affect me. Outside of that, I really don't care too much about what people, think about me if they don't know me.
Yes. Okay, so I asked everyone this that gets to work with Carlos King, because I think a lot of people think of him as a reality TV, the king of reality. And the way that he's able to kind of help, and his team obviously are able to help kind of tell stories, I think is really genius and really captivating. But what is it like working with Carlos King and the Kingdom Reign team?
First of all, it's great to work with Carlos and the whole Kingdom Reign team. It's great to work with OWN and Discovery as well.
Right.
I think that one of the things that Carlos does very well is he does a good job of understanding who you are, right? Trying to find out who you are, and how things can work with who you are. And I look at Carlos as a problem solver as well, because in essence, he's trying to introduce individuals. Like we weren't stars before, right? In whatever endeavor, we were regular people that were getting introduced to the world. So being able to introduce these individuals, tell everyone, hey, these have an interesting story, and connect with the viewers, that's to me a special talent. And I think that you have to understand people in order to be able to do that.
I agree. It's been a pleasure. And some of this is game for Carlos as well. So we were able to watch their office grow. You know, we joke and tease them when we went to LA and they had a new office and we're like, yeah. So it's really very surreal. It's very surreal because all of us are actually growing together. And there's a comfort in that. You know, some of the contractors that they hire, some of them have been with us since season 1. Some of them have moved to bigger and better things. And it's kind of like proud mama moments because literally we're all growing together. And I think that's the part that I like about Carlos, because we've had even sidebars about different endeavors that we could maybe do linked to our character, you know, that could grow you even further. And even outside of the show, he always comes with a suggestion. You know, Kimmi, I think you should do this. You should listen to me, girl. Listen to me. So he always suggestion, you know, how to grow your brand, how to expand your platform, how to stay relevant. And I can appreciate that. You know, he's not really the producer that sits in the cut. He tells us, like, if you think you need to call me, call me. Like, call me. We all have his phone number, like his direct phone number, like if we needed something, and he answers.
Yeah.
Fortunately, because of how he runs his show, we don't really have to call Carlos. We don't have to call Carlos, but it's always nice to know that your boss is open to that.
And he listens. That's the other thing. He actually listens. Kimmi, I have to give her credit for it every time. But Kimmi and I came up with the idea that Carlos should host a reunion back in season 1.
Before our first reunion.
Right. And lo and behold, I don't know how it you know, all of it came about, but Carlos hosted the reunion. Yes. And one of the differences that you saw in the reunion was this individual that's hosting the reunion didn't have to get introduced into our lives. He saw everything that was on and that didn't quite make it. So it's a completely different situation when you're talking to like a family member, right?
They know all your secrets.
That's right. They know all the questions to ask. I can tell you that we could have had another 2 episodes based on all of the stuff that we discussed at the reunion that didn't make it, you know?
Right. And I know, were you guys nervous when you found out that he was going to be hosting the reunion? I know they kind of showed everyone's reactions as he told you guys, but I can't remember. Were you guys nervous or excited for him to be the host?
I was happy for him. I was really happy because I knew it was going to go. I knew it was going to go very well.
And for me, I knew he needed secrets, and so people weren't going to be able to hem and haw around the questions.
He held people's feet to the fire. Right? I thought that Carlos was going to go off the hook, right? And you know, just in general, we all have relationships. So, you know, the better your relationship with an individual, you kind of want to give them an out. However, Carlos asked questions, and you know, if you try to weasel word your way around it, he followed up.
That he knows the people, he knows the show, he knows the storylines, he knows the stuff that got left on the editing floor. So I personally like that part a lot. I love to talk to people who actually know what's happened over the course of 4 years.
And I think that the viewers were treated well because of it.
Right.
You know, the viewing audience, they got a chance to say, you know what? I'm glad Carlos hosted it because we got the answers that we were actually looking for.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. It was the best reunion. It was so oh my gosh. It was so just amazing all around. So I hope he gets to host a reunion in the future as well. But so you guys talked about growth a little bit ago, and I'm so excited because you guys are adding to your Love and Marriage franchise with Love and Marriage DC with Monique Samuels. How do you guys feel about that?
I'm excited to see them take the torch and run with it. Monique is amazing, of course, her and her husband, Chris. There's, the new couples. I'm excited to see how they, interact. Is it going to be like Love and Marriage Huntsville? Is it going to have its own feel and spin? It's like a first time parent. You just don't know what you're going to get with your kids. So that's really exciting. Really exciting.
We knew that was the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it actually plays a role in us, the cast, wanting this to be successful so that Carlos can move to the next thing. Mm-hmm. So we all wanted to make sure that we gave our best.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's another thing, even from the very beginning, we were all entrepreneurs, and we looked at it and we said, if we're going to be in this space, we want to actually compete in this space. There are certain shows that are at the top, and we want the top.
You guys are definitely at the top. So, yes, one of the top shows. And so it's so excited for you guys and the whole franchise and own and everything. So exciting. Okay, so I kind of want to get into your guys' careers real quick. Kind of stuff that we don't get to always see on the show from you guys. So Kimmi, I know that you were a nurse and then now you're really getting into real estate. So I was curious, so why did you decide to end up making your career change? And do you have any advice for anyone that wants to make a career change?
It took a lot. I mean, like I've been a nurse a long time, and I love nursing. And I've done real estate probably for the last, about 8 years now. About 8 years now. I was just doing them in tandem. And in my brain, I feel like when you do too many things, nothing's going to get 100% of your attention. Like to do well. And I actually want to be better in real estate at this point. I want to focus more of my efforts in being better in real estate. I never really wanted to be quote unquote great because I was extremely busy running another business. And so that was my motivation. My motivation is that I just couldn't continue to give 50 hours a week to the corporate world and think that I'm ever going to be great in this side of town. So, I just had to take a leap of faith, and he pushed me. So you can't help but fly when you get pushed out there.
Okay, Maurice, tell me a little bit about your other business endeavors. And I know, obviously, you talked about it a little bit earlier, that you obviously help people with, their credit and things like that. So how can people get help from you?
Credit One USA is the company I own that helps people with their credit. We help people all over the country. We also have the privilege of helping, some of our service members, even while they're serving, so they are able to come back home and, get a piece of this American dream with home ownership. And a lot of it is linked to home ownership, right? That's initially how, Credit One USA came about. It was, I had a problem. It was, personal credit, and there wasn't a lot of solution out there to help me with it. And a lot of people didn't know anything about, credit scores, how they were made up, how to improve it, how to dispute inaccurate stuff on your credit report. So we made a company about it. And then in the midst of it, I found that there's another level. And it's one thing to know the law, to apply the law. It's another thing to enforce the law. And that's, as a consumer lawyer, that's what I do, is enforce the laws that are on the books to make sure that companies just play fair. And I believe that there's far too many people out here that just don't have a chance. That's why I do everything that I do, whether it's credit repair, consumer law, real estate, even our business endeavors. It's all about giving a person a chance, because I wish that I was in that position to where I would have been able to have a chance without having to learn everything the hard way. So consumer law, we're also doing some things as far as a nonprofit. And we have this really exciting endeavor that is geared toward, I don't want to give it all away, but it's geared toward entrepreneurs. and startups. Okay. And it's going to be really, really, really exciting for entrepreneurs and startups. And we're collaborating with Alabama A&M and a number of other companies and individuals to come together to do something really, really special. We have that. We also have another business venture that's groundbreaking for Alabama. We're partnering with a multi-billion-dollar company. Actually, wow, now I think about it, 2 multi-billion-dollar companies on 2 different ventures. And we're going to bring, some things together that's going to really, 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 really do well in the home purchasing space.
That's so exciting. Oh my gosh, well, I'm so happy for the both of you. And my last question before I let you guys go, what can fans expect from this season?
Shenanigans.
Hold on, baby. Hold on. Let me tell you something. This is probably going to be, this is going to be the most exciting season of Love and Marriage Huntsville. You see the growth and development of all of us. And then you also see some of the challenges that come along with the relationships that we have and how we're able to get past them. Collectively, I think that you'll see the most challenges that you've seen out of all of us. And, it's going to be interesting to see how we solve these problems. If it's interesting for me and I actually got a chance to see it, I guarantee it'll be interesting to you guys.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Well, again, congratulations on everything, all of your amazing endeavors in the show and everything. So happy for you guys. And again, it was such an honor. I'm so elated that I got to talk to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.